Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to Full Ensigns. My name is Jericho, and this is War Stories. For today's War Story, I'm joined by CyannSentry as we give a little review and discussion of the BFG. So why don't you kick us off there, madam?
Okay, well, I have to start off by saying that I barely remember the book, because I read it in 4th grade, and I remember I loved it, but I don't remember any details, really.
Right.
Just kind of the general atmosphere of it, which the movie got right. From what I can remember of it, it was very immersive, and the visual effects were absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything from just how the giant's fingers moved to his eyes. His eyes were what were
extremely
really
expressive.
Expressive, and like a lot of times it seems like in a CGI character, which is the computer graphic one, the eyes will just kind of move independently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll be, you know, together, I mean, but they'll be separate from the rest of the face.
Right, or they'll be like dead and glassy.
Right.
They don't look human
Right.
or alive.
But in this, like, every time his eyes moved, the intricate little muscles in the face would react how they're supposed to, and and just besides like the realism of the movements and everything, it was just gorgeous to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially, this isn't really a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but he collects dreams. He catches dreams, and they're just like these little bright, glowy things,
Mm-hmm.
and they are so beautiful to watch. It was really amazing.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think the visuals were one of the strongest parts of the movie, but another part that really stuck with me was I thought that the soundtrack was incredible. It's John Williams, who is a longtime collaborator with the director of this, Steven Spielberg, and it was almost like something like Fantasia, with the way they were able to give each of the instruments personality and how different all the themes felt, especially in the sequence with the dreams that Cyan mentioned. Like every little different color and flicker of a dream had its own personality and music and theme, and
it was amazing.
Instrument sometimes. Yeah.
Wonderful music, wonderful. So once again, John Williams, bravo, because he's just always amazing.
Yeah, I would say that he is our greatest living composer by a long shot.
The music you're hearing at this moment, by the way.
Yep.
Another big part that I really loved of the movie, as simple as it sounds, is just the sincerity of the actors.
Mm-hmm.
The little girl who... I'm very critical of children in movies, because very often it seems like they're just to be cute. They're trying to be cute, and it just comes across as obnoxious to me because I guess I knew too many kids who were like that in school, that would act all adorable for the parents, but then they were awful people in real life. But that was not the case here. That little girl was actually adorable, and she was acting her heart out, and she did a good job of it. And especially the giant, like his smile is just probably the most adorable, genuine smile I've ever seen in my life, and it wasn't even on a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I was just looking up the actor for it. He looks a little like the giant, but not terribly close. And it's amazing that the animators could get that across, and the actor could get it across enough for the animators to animate. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
As far as story goes, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Like, it's a pretty simple, like, it's a children's book, you know?
Yes.
So it's gonna be simple and predictable. So, you know, don't go in expecting some massive plot twist or anything, but it was really just a sweet, fun story just great to watch. What do you say?
Yes, I agree. If I did have a criticism, I compared it to a dessert that was just all sweet. One thing that I really cherished about Roald Dahl and his books and, you know, the adaptations throughout the years is that they always had a little bit of an edge or a creepiness to them, like, you know, you get with, you know, Tim Burton or something like that. And that really comes through in both Charlie and the Chocolate Factory adaptations, particularly the older one with Gene Wilder. That one's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? And then the new one is Willy Wonka?
Yeah. No. Other way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's nice to see a movie that doesn't have like a political message, or it doesn't have to be like go dark or gritty or anything like that.
It does have a little bit of dark, like just enough to give it a sense of urgency in some places. But yeah, it doesn't have quite the dark underbelly that some of the Roald Dahl
right, like there's some exciting stuff and some like thrills, but like I don't think that you ever really get a sense of danger. And like I think even as a kid,
I definitely got a sense of danger from that. There were some parts where I was kind of cringing a little bit because she was so close to the bad giants, and just, you know, like of course I knew she was gonna be fine, like obviously, but even so, the danger was there. I felt it for her.
That's good. I don't know. I guess somewhat, but I would have liked just a tiny bit more. But like I said, you know, it is nice to see a movie that doesn't feel like it has to go that route, and can just be, you know, sweet to the point of being, you know, saccharine. And there's really nothing wrong with that. And like you said, you know, the plot, it goes basically how you would expect. And it is, you know, it's just an adorable movie. One thing, though, I would say, I think, you know, it being directed by Steven Spielberg will certainly help, but I don't predict that the movie will do particularly well in the box office. I think it's going to really struggle to find an audience because a lot of kids, I think, will be bored. It starts off really slowly. And there are some action elements and a few scenes that, you know, are obviously playing to it, you know, getting a release in 3D and all that, and that's fine. You know, I don't have a problem with that. But I think that, you know, kids want minions and, you know, like stuff throwing up and jumping the screen the whole time, and like I would like to think otherwise. But
yeah, I'm hoping you're being a little you're not putting enough faith in our children because I know I would have loved it as a kid, but then again, I was a weird kid, so I don't know. Maybe you're right, but sorry, this is back to another point on the visuals. In the first sequence where we see the giant, he's like running around the city trying to avoid being seen, and he's just I don't know, something about the way he moves and the way like his cape swirls and everything, and he has this what they call it, the horn, the trumpet that blows dreams. That whole ensemble and everything just fits so well, just made it look so mystical and wonderful.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, if you look at it as something, you know, like I said, like Fantasia, where you're there for the music and visuals, it's really unparalleled.
Yeah.
Like I think for myself, the visuals in this were even more impressive than Jungle Book. Like they attempt to do something very different.
Yeah.
But it's like even
Jungle
more.
Book was more realistic, I would say, but this was just more stunning.
Yeah. So I think if you go in with level expectations, you should enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I also, read the book as a kid and don't really remember it all that well, but there was nothing that I think would be horribly against the plot of the book.
I don't think so. I don't remember anything about. Sorry, spoiler for this ahead. I don't remember anything about the Queen and all that from the book. Do you?
No.
So I don't know if that was just movie added in or if it happened or what, but. Yeah, I don't know, but it didn't fit the rest of the movie. But
yeah,
it was one of my favorite parts of the movie, so I'm not complaining.
Right.
I just don't remember it.
So as far as that goes, we can't really speak to that, but it was a really charming movie, beautiful to listen to too, so it would still definitely get our recommendation.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you have kids, like, maybe Jericho's right and they'll be bored, but maybe not, and maybe they'll get an appreciation for that quirky Norwegian humor.
Right.
Scanners indicate that at least
But unless you have some closing thoughts, that'll probably wrap it up for us today.
Go see it.
Yeah, go check it out. It would be good for a movie like this to do well. It might, you know, make opportunities for more, you know, movies like this to get made. Who should I be? Luke, Han, Leia, or Lando?
Leia.
Oh, but she's the worst.
Oh, well, then why'd you pick your...
Well...
Solo, then.
Okay. But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up for us today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can see more war stories every Tuesday and Thursday. It's a lot of stuff like this, talking about random topics while Battlefront just kind of is in the background. Thank you, as always, to CyannSentry for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And that will do it for us today. I don't know about you guys, but we're full.